Let's talk to Justin Gest, who joins us from New York via Skype, a professor specialising in minority political behaviour and population integration policies. France, as we were hearing, as we know, defiantly secular in its outlook. Is this one of the reasons why it is targeted by jihadist groups, if indeed the events of the past 24 hours were part of an Islamic State, ISIL, Daesh attack?
Well, Tim, there are different types of secularism, and some forms of secularism try to remove religion from the public sphere, and that is very much the French type. In other countries, such as the United States, secularism is about not treating any one particular religion with any kind of special attention or status, and simply allowing all religions to be expressed rather than removing them from the public sphere. That suppression in France is part of the problem, I think, because it's part of a larger integration philosophy that emphasizes equality, but equality in the way that people must shed their difference in order to be equally French, rather than in elsewhere like the United States or the United Kingdom or Canada, for instance, where equality is much more a matter of celebrating difference, equal but different, rather than equal differences shed.
Yeah, and that multicultural idea that we have, for example, in Britain and elsewhere, allowing people to practice and observe the customs that, as they want to. But in fact, in France, if you look at some of the banlieues around Paris and elsewhere, that is effectively what has been created, but in some sort of ghetto rather than a spirit of freedom.
It's very difficult to control when you have that kind of philosophy towards it. But really the bigger problem, Tim, I think, is not necessarily the suppression of religion. It's about the selective suppression of religion. And historically, France has had issues when it doesn't practice what it preaches. And the French, whilst insisting on the secularism of equality and fraternity and togetherness, the problem is that many French Muslims do not feel a sense of that togetherness. They don't feel like they're being treated equally. And so rebellion has been part of the result.
And when it comes to governments trying to tackle this problem, you speak to French academics, for example, and criminologists who say that the prison system radicalizes people as well, and also that sense of despair for a lot of people brought up, for example, in the banlieue, the suburbs, who know that even if they apply for a job, their name, even their address, will deny or prevent them getting even on the ladder.
Hiring and employment discrimination, housing discrimination, the prison complex and discrimination in terms of racial and religious profiling, all of these compound to create a sense of alienation and marginality in societies that French Muslims know no other. They only know French society, most of them. 5 million Muslims living in France, at least at this point, and many of them were born there. And so when you feel that sense of estrangement from the only society you know, a lot of frustration is going to build up for certain.
Justin Gest, I'm afraid we must leave it there because of developing events in Turkey, but thank you very much indeed for joining us on the